Hello, my friends. Greetings from Paris. I've just finished work and I'm just laying here and I thought I would do an impromptu video because it feels right to do it right now. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Have you realized that you are not your thoughts? I believe that what I recognized by observing my thoughts, and a lot of people talk about this and really have influenced me, like Eckhart Tolle, Karen Beatty, Katie Byron Katie, the Dalai Lama, Kyle Cease. There are a lot of wonderful thinkers, even Socrates. I think Socrates was a lover of what is, you know, and all of these are assumptions, and I can only and in fact I don't know anything. I really don't know anything other than what is my experience. So there's nothing to sell, nothing to convince you of, nothing convince anyone of. But I realized that when I observed myself, the fear, I'm always challenging myself. So maybe perhaps people who I'm assuming that live in kind of routine lives. Routine lives are not kind of, routines that do everything the same thing every day. And there's no challenges in the respect of new people or new cultures or new challenges, doing something new, learning a new craft, learning a new sport, learning something new that's not challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone. And I feel like my life is very much about that. And because of the sheer experiences that come along with creation and teaching and being a teacher and working in different countries and so forth. And I've said this before, that I've recognized that my thoughts produced a lot of insecurity in me, and I got very curious about where they came from. And I asked myself, there was a time when, especially when I meditated, and I realized that I had these thoughts and that were so random, and they could go from from like when I was 3 years old, although I don't have memory at 3 years old, or when I was a child, a teenager, a person experience today, someone in my experience today, which could be an old colleague or an old friend that I project something on, or some kind of story relating to them. So random thoughts that would just appear in my experience or in my mind, and I could get attached to those, especially when you meditate, and then all of a sudden you are like attached to another thought that's related or not related to that, and so the curiosity became very, very, very well. I had to follow it. Because I was realizing that these thoughts here that seem to not be mine, because I'm not choosing the thoughts, could create feelings in me, and also the positive. And I really firmly believe that the positive reinstates the ego, and reinstates that strong guidance. Like if people are running on ego, we can experience those people, and I think that's just perfect for the experience to have for me, to meet people like that, because I become so compassionate, because and I don't know anything, but that the false identity that is created conceptually from whatever one believes of themselves in the experience of having and getting and being superior over one or the other. And that can happen a lot in all professions, and all and many, and all of us, many, because our egos are guidance, can be guiding us. And there's nothing wrong with ego. So there was a time when I really tried to get away with it, and it just get rid of it, because I was like, oh, I don't want that. And that is like, I don't know. It's not productive, because you cannot get rid of that. That's important to us, and I believe just having fun with it, lightening up and having fun with the ego, playing, dressing up. I love when I dress up in a suit. I love when my body looks good and I'm in a bathing suit. And now I love when it doesn't. I love all of my experiences in the experience, because I have the ability to love everything that is, and have the courage to love everything it is, and to stop denying what is not, which my ego can label, this is not supposed to be happening, this is supposed to be happening, this is amazing, this is wonderful. All of those are concepts. They're just concepts that I've come to realize by recognizing my own mind and my mental activity and my choosing, all of this stuff. And that is so beautiful to share. And like this is really liberating. And I always think about the phrase that Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know what they do." And I sometimes I feel that the suffering that we endure comes from our own minds. And because we choose to relate to that thought that can produce that feeling of loss or sadness, or feeling inferior, or all of these kind of thoughts that we place upon ourselves. And it sounds like, like, especially that voice that's in our head, it is not who I am, or the thoughts. There's a lot of suffering that is had because of that relationship and the attachment of the thoughts that come into one's moment by moments. And life is only a series of moments. I've come to realize that and to recognize that, because in every fresh moment that I recognize that I'm being pulled in by negative thoughts, and negative thoughts by that, I can turn it around and I can accept them and not attach myself to them. That is the beauty of my authentic self, to be actualized. And I share that with you because it's so, so loving and so beautiful. And it's just, I don't know, heaven here on earth. And it gets easier. It gets much easier as you really pay attention. And all I know that is, for me, that love is the only truth, and acceptance, and not having to be other than you are. And every moment, maybe that changes. And no need to be validated by anyone, or to validate anyone ourselves, or give opinions about each other. And because that's just not love. That's judgment on the highest form of not accepting what is, and then judging everything. So I think one can go as far as saying that every opinion and every judgment of hate or love is a concept that is created in the mind. How do I know this? I don't know this. How do I know it happens? Because it happens in my mind, in my head. But I also certainly know for myself only, that the awareness of the awareness is key, because I have the ability to love all of that. And I am grateful to share that with you today. It's really beautiful. I'm in Paris with a whole nother group of people, and whole other kinds of cultural influences to a character, as opposed to Mexico. And it's very interesting, and all of it's beautiful, and all of its play. Have a beautiful and gorgeous day. I hope this finds you well, wherever you are. Much love. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.